Misconceptions about the Trinity. Misconception. Since Jesus was tempted, he cannot be God because God cannot be tempted. Refutation. While James 1:13 states that God cannot be tempted by evil, the incarnation of Jesus meant he experienced human life fully, including temptations. Hebrews 4:15 clarifies that Jesus was tempted in every way but without sin, reinforcing both his humanity and divinity. Misconception. The Trinity is merely a New Testament concept, absent in the Old Testament. Refutation. While the Old Testament may not articulate the doctrine as clearly, there are glimpses of the triune nature of God, such as the plural, "Let us make man in our image," in Genesis chapter 1:26. Misconception. Only the Father possesses omniscience, not Jesus. Refutation. While in his humanity Jesus voluntarily limited his knowledge, Mark 13:32, he also displayed divine omniscience, like knowing Nathanael under the fig tree before meeting him, John chapter 1:48. Misconception. The Trinity was a doctrine created by Emperor Constantine. Refutation. Constantine played a role in the Council of Nicaea, which defended Trinitarian belief against Arianism. However, the belief in Jesus' divinity and the Trinity existed long before Constantine and can be traced back to the New Testament itself. Misconception. The concept of the Trinity is irrational or illogical. Refutation. The Trinity is a divine mystery, transcending human logic, but not contradicting it. It's a revelation of God's nature, not a human construct. Misconception. Jesus' statement, "The Father is greater than I," in John 14:28, means Jesus is inferior to the Father. Refutation. Jesus was referring to his position during his incarnation. While on earth, he humbled himself, taking on the nature of a servant, Philippians 2:5-8. This doesn't diminish his intrinsic divine nature. Misconception. The Holy Spirit's primary role is to bring about emotional or ecstatic experiences. Refutation. The Holy Spirit's primary role is to glorify Jesus, John 16:14, to convict of sin, John 16:8, and to indwell believers, guiding and sanctifying them, 1 Corinthians 3:16, 2 Corinthians 3:18. Misconception. The term begotten in reference to Jesus, e.g. only begotten Son, implies a beginning or creation. Refutation. The term begotten, monogenes in Greek, emphasizes uniqueness and one-of-a-kind status. It's about relationship and uniqueness, not about creation or birth in the way humans understand it. Misconception. The Trinity was invented by early church councils and not rooted in the Bible. Refutation. Early church councils formulated and articulated the doctrine based on the teachings of the Bible. They clarified it in response to heresies, not as an invention. Misconception. The Holy Spirit is the force of God, akin to depictions in popular culture. Refutation. The Bible describes the Holy Spirit with personal attributes: grieving, teaching, guiding. He isn't an impersonal force, but a divine person. Ephesians 4:30, John 14:26. Misconception. Only the Father has the attribute of immutability, unchanging nature, not Jesus or the Holy Spirit. Refutation. Hebrews 13:8 declares, Jesus Christ is the same yesterday and today and forever. This highlights Jesus' unchanging nature, consistent with the essence of God. Misconception. The Old Testament only prepared the way for Jesus without affirming his divinity. Refutation. Several Old Testament passages, like Isaiah 7:14, prophesying a virgin birth, call the coming child Emmanuel, which means God with us. Misconception. The idea of three persons in one God is a contradiction and therefore cannot be true. Refutation. The Trinity is not a contradiction, but a paradox. A contradiction is two opposing truths, whereas a paradox is a truth that our human understanding struggles to reconcile. Misconception: Jesus' humanity means he can't be God. Refutation: the doctrine of the hypostatic union states that Jesus is fully God and fully man, united in one person. This union doesn't diminish his divinity, but rather highlights the unique nature of the incarnation. Misconception: the Holy Spirit is an angel or a lower divine being assisting God. Refutation: Acts 5:3-4 reveals that lying to the Holy Spirit is equivalent to lying to God, thus recognizing the Spirit's full divinity.